Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, the Real Drew Haynes. Today we're going to go over a topic that's crucial for all you landlords out there. That's going to be how to effectively screen all your tenants before you get them. I'm going to be sharing some valuable tips and tricks for this to help you find them reliable tenants. So let's dive right into it. The first one's going to be setting your criteria for your tenants. Before you start screening tenants, you need to set a clear criteria for screening them tenants. You need to be thinking about factors like income, rental history, credit score, references. Having all this criteria in place will make it more efficient and more consistent when screening your tenants. And one thing that you're going to want to be is consistent when you're screening your tenants. You don't want to allow one tenant to rent a place when you turned another tenant down for the same, not matching the same criteria that you set in place. There's a lot of states out there and different laws and different organizations that can watch this stuff. You're setting yourself up for liability. So one thing that you're gonna want to do, no matter what, is to be consistent. Set the criterias, make them clear. This helps you out when you're looking for a tenant. You know what to expect, and if they don't meet it, pass on them. If they do, then they should be a good tenant. And that's why you're setting these criterias. But be consistent when you do it. Step 2 is going to be the rental application. You're going to ask all potential tenants to fill out your rental application that you have set up for your business. This form should have a lot of different information on it. A lot of it's going to be their personal information, employment details, rental history, income. There's all kinds of stuff out there. There's a bunch of templates online. If you guys don't know what to put in yours right now, just Google rental application template. There's hundreds that'll pop up. Find one that you like that fits right now and you can add to it or take away from it. But take some time, put some thought into it, make your own application. And then this is the first step that you're going to have when someone wants to apply for your property. You have them fill out this application. This application is going to give you a comprehensive overlook of the tenant's background and the rental history and their income. And that's what you want. So step 3, you're going to want to check employment and income. It's going to be real important that your tenant has a stable income and that you check that. If they don't have no income, how are they going to pay you rent? This is going to be your first thing that you look at, and it should be the number one thing you look at pretty much, along with some other stuff. But income is, they have to have it or they can't pay you. I mean, it's pretty common sense there. So first thing you want to do is make sure that they have stable income. You need to verify that employment when they write it down. You need to call and verify that they are employed there. Call their employer and get in contact. On the application, there should be a contact info on there who you're going to contact. Contact that person. Make sure it is that person. That ain't their buddy that they put down as their boss or whatever. Some people do work for their friends, but a lot of people will say, so-and-so is my boss, and come find out it's really their sister or their mom or something like that. So make sure you do all your checks. Make sure that is their employer. And ask for check stubs. You want to get check stubs. This way you can verify how much their income is. General rule of thumb that most people go by is 3 times what your rent is. If I'm charging $700 for a unit, I normally want to make minimum $2,100 a month. And it really depends on other factors too, like if they have a huge car payment or stuff like that. But that's just a good rule of thumb. Set your own criteria. That's step 1. And then follow that criteria. If you want 4 times the income and they only have 3 times the income, don't accept them. Step number 4, after you've verified all their employment and their income, step number 4 is going to be verify their rental history. You're going to want to contact the previous landlord that's on their application or the current landlord that's on their application. When you contact them, what you should be doing is asking about the tenant's behavior, how they normally act, do they take care of your property, do they pay on time, are they normally late, do they have to pay half and pay another half later. This is all stuff that you're going to want to ask the current landlord or previous landlord. And make sure, once again, that that is their landlord or the previous landlord. This will give you a lot of insight if they're responsible as a tenant. And that's what you want. You want a responsible tenant that's going to take care of your property, pay you on time. Step number 5 I got in here. Some people do it, some people don't. It's going to be check their credit score. You can have them pull up their Credit Karma. Just about everybody has Credit Karma nowadays. Have them pull that up and show it to you if you don't want to run a credit score history on them. Costs money to do it. Some people don't do it, but that's one thing that I would do is at least have them give you a credit report that they have printed out and make sure it's theirs. Go over it and kind of see what other bills they have on that credit history too. And some people have a bad credit score that are reliable tenants. They had a medical bill that kind of screwed their credit, or they missed one payment and it can drop their credit score 50, 60 points. I've seen it. So don't hold the credit score, to be the biggest factor in this, but you can look at it. If it is a medical bill that dinged their credit, you'll know that by looking at their credit history. You can look at past dues and stuff like that. If they pay all their payments late, they're going to pay you late. So just look at their credit score, see how they pay, if they're consistent, and kind of what other bills they have, and then you can kind of see if their budget is good enough for your property. Because if they make 3 times your rent, but they have 4 times the bills, they're behind anyways, and they're not going to have enough money to pay you. A lot of people pay their cell phone and internet stuff before they pay you. I know it's crazy, but they really will. So think about that. Step number 6 is contacting references. Make sure you get in touch with all the references that they put down on their application. Get in contact with them. A lot of them will tell you, even if they're best friends, they'll tell you, well, yeah, they're good people, but they don't keep a clean house or whatever. They'll tell you stuff, unless it's someone that is on their application. They say, hey, this guy's going to be calling you. Tell them that I took care of everything. I pay on time, all that stuff. Just fill these people out. That's one thing as a landlord, you're going to have to kind of become a good judge of character. You'll learn that as you go, talking to people. You can kind of tell if they're a little bit full of it or if it's legit. But contact these people. I never say, hey, they have you down as their sister. Can you tell me about them? I always say, hey, how do you know this person? And I see if it matches what's on the application. That's one thing that I do. So sometimes you get people caught up. They put them down as, best friend, but it's actually their mom. Or if they're lying about it, there's a reason they're lying about it. It don't matter to me if they put their mom down as a reference, but no sense in lying about it. So I look at stuff like that too. Like I said, I always ask how they know this person. Are they related to this person? And then kind of see what they say. Number 7's kind of like the credit score, criminal background check. I always recommend that you do that, kind of so you know who you're putting in that home, if they have felonies or what their background actually is. There's places that you can spend $20, $30, get a background check. In our state, we actually have a thing called CaseNet, where I can pull up anything that they ever got, and it don't cost me a dime. It's all recorded record of court hearings and stuff like that. If they've had a ticket, even seatbelt ticket, something like that, it's on there. Not all states do that, but my state does, so that's always good. You guys might have something similar in your state. Try to find out if you do. If not, it don't hurt to spend. If you get a good application and they've checked all your boxes, and the last thing you are going to do is do a background check, and it costs you $30 to do it, what's $30? It's a tax write-off, and it can really kind of determine if you want to put this person in there or not. They could check all the boxes, but then have a bunch of felonies, and you don't want to put that person in there because of the neighbor that's in your duplex or something. You got 2 units, and you don't want to put that person next to the other person. There's a lot of factors in what's on their background, so check it out, see if that's a fit, spend the money to do it. It's not that big of a deal. Then number 8, if you haven't already, you need to meet them in person. If I've been talking to them on the internet, on Facebook or something like that, or they went to my website and applied, I always, after they check all these boxes and I've been through all the other steps, I arrange a face-to-face meeting with them to meet them in person. This gives me the opportunity to gauge their demeanor, how they act. I ask them several questions, get a feel for them, see if they're going to be a good fit for my property or not. Step number 9 that I do too is I check their online presence. Nowadays, everyone's on social media. A quick online check, see what their behavior is like outside of this application. Their Facebook or Instagram or whatever, a lot of their social media will tell you a lot about them, what kind of character they are, what kind of person they are. It's one thing that I always check. It normally gives you a pretty good insight of who you're actually renting to. Number 10, trust your instincts. Go with your gut. If your gut's telling you something's wrong about this picture, I always go with my gut. My gut normally tells me exactly what I want to know. So trust your instincts. After you gathered all this information, if your instincts is telling you something's wrong, I would probably steer away from it. If everything tells you, hey, this is going to be a good tenant, they got good pay, their background's good, they don't got anything on social media that I'm worried about, I feel like this is a good fit for my property, I talked to them in person, they're very polite, they're well kept, then go with your instinct. Should be a good fit. You can't get it right 100% of the time. There's some that I thought were going to be amazing and just really fooled me. I mean, it happens. That's part of the process. Just knowing what to do when it does happen is the biggest battle, and don't let it go on forever neither. If you get these people in there, you trust your instinct, you get them in there, and 3 months down the road they're paying late or whatever, find out why they're paying late. I do work with some people here and there. It's rare because they always have an excuse. Everybody's got an excuse for whatever, but get them out of there. Don't let them get you for a month or two because they're promising to pay and all that stuff. That's one thing that you need to set as a criteria too, and be consistent on that. Is okay, after they get to this certain timeline, I'm done with it, I'm filing an eviction. And let them know that up front when they sign my application and sign my lease. I tell them, okay, here's how it works. If you're this many days late, I'm not coming knock on the door and chasing rent. I go ahead and file an eviction. If I hadn't heard from you and why you're late or that you're going to be late, I'm not asking questions. I'm just filing an eviction. Most of them get that, and I'll have some every once in a while call me and say, hey, I know it's due on the 10th. I'm paying the 11th because that's Friday, and I don't get paid until that day. I'm fine with that. They let me know what's going on. If Monday rolls around and they ain't paid, I might go ahead and file an eviction if I ain't heard from them on the weekend. So that's another thing you need to do too. I know this is about screening tenants, but once you get that tenant screened and get them in there, make sure that you follow through with the other criteria that you set up and that you are consistent. Consistency is one of the biggest keys in this business here. So that's it for today, guys. That's the 10 steps that I have for screening a tenant. Kind of basic. Just wanted to give you a rundown. This is all stuff that you guys can do pretty easy to set up your application, put them online, get these tenants screened. These 10 steps kind of foolproof for you so that you guys can get out there and start making it happen. So as always, get out there and make it happen, guys.